Power is not given, it's taken. And if you're still waiting for your turn, still hoping someone will notice your potential, you're about to discover why. The brutal truth is this: while you've been playing fair, following rules, being authentic, the powerful have been following Machiavelli. According to Machiavelli, the strategist who revealed how dominance, intimidation, and command truly function, power is forged through ruthless self-development. Not through fortune, not through charisma, but through practices so precise, they slice through noise, ordinariness, and frailty like steel. This isn't another self-help video about morning routines or productivity hacks. This is about the dark psychology of dominance, the 12 habits that separate the rulers from the ruled, the feared from the forgotten. These are the exact patterns that turn ordinary men into forces of nature, into legends that others whisper about, but never dare challenge. If you've ever felt powerless in a room full of powerful people, if you've ever watched mediocre men rise while you stagnate, if you've ever been dismissed when you should have been feared, then you need to understand what Machiavelli decoded centuries ago. Power follows patterns, and today you learn every single one, and by the end, you'll learn every single way how to install these habits. Habit 1. Master your face before you master the room. Your face is your first betrayal. Every powerful person knows this. The battlefield begins in your expression. Machiavelli warned that unpredictability in emotion gives enemies leverage. If they can read your face, they can read your weakness. And once they spot weakness, they'll exploit it until you break. The first habit is emotional neutrality. Not emptiness, control. No fidgeting when challenged, no wide eyes when surprised, no quick expressions that beg for approval, no facial tics that reveal your thoughts before you speak them. When someone insults you, don't blink. When chaos erupts around you, don't flinch. When praise comes, don't soften. Your face becomes a wall of stone, and that stillness becomes magnetic. People fear what they cannot decode. They obey what they fear. The weak wear their hearts on their sleeves. The powerful wear masks carved from marble. Every emotion you leak is ammunition handed to your enemies. But controlling your face is just the beginning. Because the truly dangerous understand that power isn't about working harder. Habit 2. Think in leverage, not labor. The average man asks, how hard must I work to become successful? The powerful man asks, what lever should I pull to have 10 people labor on my behalf? Machiavelli taught that princes never do everything themselves. They identify pressure points, relationships, moments, strategies that create ripple effects of dominance. This habit transforms you from a worker into an architect of outcomes. Don't aim to be productive. Construct mechanisms that generate results on your behalf. Don't seek approval. Establish circumstances that draw it naturally. Don't argue to win. Frame conversations so winning becomes inevitable. Look for multipliers every day, the one action that makes everything else either irrelevant or effortless. The single relationship that opens 10 doors. The one skill that makes you irreplaceable. Powerful people don't move mountains. They find the fulcrum that makes mountains move themselves. While others exhaust themselves in motion, you calculate the physics of influence. And once you understand leverage, you'll discover why silence is the most dangerous weapon. Habit 3. Speak less, observe everything, control most. In a world addicted to noise, the quiet man controls the tempo. Machiavelli stressed that those who talk too much reveal too much. Every word you speak is intelligence handed to your opponents. The powerful speak only when it creates impact. And even then, what they say feels deliberate, measured, impossible to challenge. Cut your sentences in half. Remove qualifiers like I think, maybe, kind of. Don't rush to fill silence. Weaponize it. When you speak, make it land like a verdict, not float like a suggestion. But here's the deadly part. While you're silent, you're collecting data. Let others expose their fears, desires, insecurities, while you catalog everything like a spy. Your silence isn't from fear. It's from calculation. In rooms full of chatter, the person who says least sees most. They know who's lying, who's afraid, who's desperate. And knowledge, hoarded in silence, becomes power concentrated into precision. But remaining mysterious is only powerful if they fear what you might do next. Habit 4. Be feared for your potential, not your past. Fear is not created by what you've done. It's created by what you might do. Machiavelli knew reputation outweighs action. Your resume doesn't scare anyone. But the unknown version of you, the one that might emerge if pushed too far, that version haunts their nightmares. The powerful cultivate strategic unpredictability. Don't show all your skills at once. Don't always respond when provoked. Don't correct every lie told about you. Sometimes let people wonder. Let them whisper, what would happen if he got serious? What if she's holding back capabilities we've never seen? I don't want to find out what he'd do if truly threatened. Never be too obvious. Never be too available. Never let people predict your next move. The mystery version of you is always more powerful than the visible one. Fear thrives in the space between what people know and what they imagine you're capable of. And that fear becomes respect when you make yourself impossible to reach. Habit 5. Become scarce and irreplaceable simultaneously. Familiarity breeds contempt. Scarcity breeds reverence. Machiavelli advised that the prince should appear accessible but never truly be so. The more people can touch you, see you, drain your energy, the less they value your presence. Build two shields, scarcity and irreplaceability. You're not available for every meeting. You don't reply immediately to every message. You're not found wherever everyone else gathers. People can't speak to you just because they want to. But while you're scarce, you're also critical. Master one skill no one else can duplicate. Occupy a role so sharp that people depend on your unique value. When you're both rare and essential, you become untouchable. People stop testing you. They start protecting their connection to you. Your absence creates anxiety. Your presence becomes a privilege they must earn. But even your closest allies must never forget who holds the power. Habit 6. Keep allies close, but keep control closer. Friendship is useful, not sacred. The powerful don't walk alone. But unlike the weak, they don't build alliances based on emotion. Machiavelli made it clear. Connections serve purpose, not sentiment. The habit is to build relationships that benefit you while staying ready to sever them when they don't. This isn't about being fake. It's about being strategically detached. Never let manipulation disguise itself as friendship. Praise in public, observe in private, cut when necessary. Give just enough access so they feel close, but never enough to actually touch your core. Always be the one with less emotional dependence. If your connection becomes a leash around your neck, you've already lost. Use others when it serves your mission, but only when you remain in complete control of the game. The moment you need them more than they need you, you've surrendered your power to their mercy. Now that you've built the foundation, it's time for the transformation, because real power isn't just about individual habits. Advanced phase, the psychological transformation. What separates the temporarily feared from the permanently untouchable? You've hardened your face, weaponized your silence, and raised the cost of your presence. But Machiavelli knew that surface-level changes crumble under pressure. Real power requires psychological architecture. Systems so deep they become instinct, so automatic they feel like breathing. This is where boys become men, and men become rulers, where pretenders become predators, where temporary tactics become permanent transformation. And it begins with preparing for the inevitable betrayal. Habit 7. Anticipate betrayal before loyalty breaks. Machiavelli warned, assume treachery is coming. Not because people are evil, but because circumstances make them selfish. A friend today becomes a rival tomorrow. A loyal ally now becomes a parasite when ambition grows. A trusted partner may become your destroyer when opportunity knocks. Machiavelli warned that smart princes prepare for knives before they're drawn. Develop the habit of scanning for early warning signs. Subtle shifts in tone, delayed responses, new alliances formed without mention, favors returned with excuses. Don't overreact to these signals. Log them, file them, build alternatives around them. When betrayal finally reveals itself, you're already gone, already reinforced, or already positioned to destroy them. This doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you politically immortal. The man who sees the blade coming never bleeds. The woman who prepares for abandonment never gets left vulnerable. Trust, but always have a backup plan. But knowing betrayal is coming means nothing if you react like everyone else. Habit 8. Delay your reaction, perfect your strike. Men must either be caressed or annihilated, never anything in between. The weak react quickly and sloppily. Their emotions boil over instantly. Their decisions reek of impulse. Their presence creates noise and friction. Machiavelli taught the opposite. When you strike, strike once, strike completely, strike with finality. Train 2 mental patterns. Delay your reaction, then execute with surgical precision. When insulted, pause. When surprised, go still. When accused, let silence hang like a blade. Then deliver one response, one consequence, one clean move. No drama, no debate, no opportunity for repair. Let others bleed energy in constant movement while you build pressure in stillness. When you finally act, it ends things permanently. That's why your presence builds fear. People never know when you'll strike, only that when you do, there's no coming back from it. And that measured response only works because you control something deeper. Habit 9. Control the frame, even in silence. Power isn't about dominating the room. It's about controlling what the room even means. You don't need to win arguments. You need to define what the argument is actually about. The powerful walk into situations with outcomes already predetermined. They define roles before others speak. They redirect attacks not with resistance, but with reframing. Even silent, your body language establishes hierarchy. Your eye contact remains unshaken. Your pace stays slower than the room's energy. When you speak in frames. The real issue here is, let's focus on what actually matters. This isn't about being right. It's about being effective. You don't just communicate ideas. You create the mental scaffolding that everyone else must climb. The conversation happens on your terms, in your framework, toward your desired destination. But all of this requires operating where others can't see you. Habit 10. Operate in shadows, reward in light. What people see builds loyalty. What they don't see builds power. Machiavelli understood that public praise is a political tool, not personal expression. Your decisions get made privately. Your alliances form in whispers. Your punishments land silently, without theatrics. But your rewards, Those happen publicly. Why? It makes people crave your favor. It builds a mythology of your generosity. It creates natural hierarchy without resistance. People start competing to be the one you notice, the one you elevate, the one you choose to spotlight. Meanwhile, your real work, the planning, the maneuvering, the strategic positioning, remains invisible. You don't just build a reputation. You build a political atmosphere where others want to please you and fear disappointing you. Yet none of this matters if you stop growing. Habit 11. Evolve ruthlessly, but silently. The weak plateau and rot. The powerful transform like assassins, in darkness, in systems, in shadows. Here's the most dangerous habit of all. Weak people get comfortable. They reach some level, get praised, and then get lazy in their comfort zone. Complacency kills more careers than incompetence. The moment you stop evolving, you start dying. But here's what separates the truly dangerous. They change without announcement, upgrade without fanfare, level up without asking for applause. Powerful people keep evolving ruthlessly. Not in public, not with big announcements, not with "New Year, New Me" posts. They change like silent killers, quietly, systematically, behind the scenes. They spot a weakness and fix it privately. They develop a new skill and only show it when it gets them a win. They rebuild their mindset and never mention the transformation. Their competitors think they know them, think they can predict them. Then a new version walks into the room, sharper, colder, more precise. And nobody saw it coming because the evolution happened in shadows. You're not maintaining an image. You're quietly killing the old self and replacing it with a weapon that cuts deeper than anyone expected. But there's one more habit, one Machiavelli would have added if he saw today's world. Habit 12. Master digital invisibility while others expose everything. In an age of digital exhibition, invisibility becomes the ultimate power move. Here's what Machiavelli couldn't have predicted. A world where people voluntarily surrender their privacy, their thoughts, their vulnerabilities to public consumption. Where weakness gets broadcasted as authenticity. Where desperation masquerades as transparency. The 12th habit is strategic digital silence. While others post their breakfast, their feelings, their every minor achievement, you become a ghost. Your social presence, if it exists at all, reveals nothing useful to enemies and everything compelling to allies. No emotional outbursts online, no personal details scattered across platforms, no real-time updates of your location, your plans, your state of mind. You understand that every digital footprint is reconnaissance for those who would use it against you. Instead, you study others through their digital confessions. You learn their patterns, their weaknesses, their desperate needs for validation, all while remaining a mystery they can't decode. In a world obsessed with being seen, the invisible man becomes invincible. Now you have all 12 habits, but habits mean nothing without operational systems. Making power permanent, the operational level. Machiavelli urged, true strength isn't what you do when life is quiet. It's what you maintain when everything falls apart. Anyone can stick to habits when things are calm. But when challenged, when stress builds, backstabbing happens, and everyone's watching, weak people retreat to what's easy. Powerful people don't just keep control, they grip it harder. This is where you transform habits into identity, behavior into instinct, temporary upgrades into permanent architecture. This is where you quit attempting to gain power and start wielding it. Systemize the identity. Don't wake up trying to act powerful. Build systems that make power automatic. Machiavelli said leaders must ready themselves for battle during calm periods, because once turmoil starts, it's too late to learn. The same goes for you. You don't wait until someone disrespects you to practice staying cold. You don't wait until you're challenged to discover your calm. You create routines that make your reactions align with your ambitions. Script your default responses to common violations. "I'll call you later." That's not acceptable, or simply silence. Practice until these responses become reflexes. Build daily rituals that reinforce control: morning stillness, evening analysis, strategic solitude. Create small discomforts daily: cold exposure, awkward silences, confrontation without apology. This builds psychological muscle memory. Power stops being something you perform and becomes something your nervous system executes without consulting your emotions. Maintain your war room. Study yourself like a strategist. Every powerful person Machiavelli respected shared one trait. They constantly watched others and themselves. You need to become your own spy network. Every day, ask, where did I accept weakness? Note your emotional slip-ups. Did someone make you change your tone or get reactive? Replay conversations. Who controlled the situation? Did your silence work? Did you talk when you should have stayed quiet? Every week, spot the repeat problems, both people and habits that weaken you. Check who's in your circle, who builds your power, who drains it. Every month, examine your reputation. What do people think of you? What rumors are spreading? Adjust what you do to stay mysterious, not predictable. The point isn't perfection, it's being strategic. What you track, you control. What you ignore quietly kills you. You're not seeking perfection, you're seeking precision. What gets measured gets mastered. What gets ignored destroys you silently. Guard your time like territory. Nobody gets in without permission. Machiavelli wrote that smart leaders must learn when not to be nice, especially with their time and energy. Today, that means you don't give access. You grant it. Every phone call is your choice. Every meeting costs something. Every response must be earned. Every minute gets exchanged, not given away. You protect your schedule like a king protects his castle. You don't ask if someone needs you. You ask, does this help my goals? If not, they can wait or disappear. This doesn't make you mean, it makes you valuable. And in a world full of people who share everything and waste energy, being rare gives you power. Master emotional intelligence without emotional slavery. Stay emotionally aware but strategically detached. Weak people either bottle up their feelings or get overwhelmed by them. Feel everything. Be ruled by nothing. The dangerous person isn't emotionless. They feel intensely but act only when emotion serves strategy. Machiavelli would tell you to feel what you need to feel, but never let anyone see you controlled by it. So you practice this habit. Someone insults you. Feel it, file it, respond only when the response destroys rather than just satisfies. Someone betrays you. Note it, but move only when movement advances your position, not just your feelings. Your emotions become fuel, not fire. Data, not chaos. Intelligence, not impulse. Build a reputation that works for you. Machiavelli understood that once a leader has the right reputation, he doesn't need to act as much because fear, respect, and wonder do the work first. That's your new goal. Reputation as protection. Not fame, not being liked, not attention, but the right kind of talk. People should say, he doesn't put up with that. She went ice cold after that comment. You only get one chance with him. Set a boundary once and let the story spread. Make decisions quietly, but let people see the results. Walk away with class, not chaos. The mystery hits harder than the explanation. Eventually, your name becomes the warning. People watch their words before talking to you. People change how they act around you. People remember what happened, even if you only did it once. Change without broadcasting. Weak people announce every improvement. Powerful people change like seasons do, suddenly and without asking. Machiavelli's most dangerous rule was this: never let them see you coming. So when you upgrade, stay quiet. Don't document the process. Don't fish for praise. Let your results do the talking. They should only notice you've changed when it's too late to catch up. You don't display your growth. You become something they can't figure out anymore. And once they can't read you, they stop testing you. But the final transformation happens when power becomes effortless. The final phase, embodied dominance. You no longer speak power, you radiate it. You've rewired your thinking, you've killed off weakness, you've turned your routines into precise, self-sustaining machines. Now comes the last step, spreading it. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. Internal transformation means nothing if it doesn't transmit externally. True Machiavellian power isn't just how you think or act privately. It's what others feel when you arrive, what your silence communicates, what your presence forces people to do without you ever asking. This is embodied dominance, the final evolution. Your presence should precede your voice. Before speaking, you've already communicated whether you're serious, testable, or someone they want allied with them. Design every signal deliberately. Posture, straight, shoulders back, movement slow and controlled. Eye contact, direct but detached. Not needy, not aggressive, just unblinking awareness. When entering rooms, pause, not in hesitation but in assessment. Your expression remains neutral, not dead, just still. No unnecessary smiling, no eagerness for approval. You become a signal of strength that others read instinctively. Make yourself the prize they fight over. Power isn't about being liked, it's about being needed. But Machiavelli warned, never get too comfortable with people. Never let them think they can replace you. Never make being around you feel ordinary. Powerful people turn themselves into something scarce. Do this by getting great at something people depend on, but keep tight control over who gets it. Be so reliable with your results that when you're gone, people feel it. Make others earn their spot by proving they're loyal, useful, and can keep their mouths shut. And when you do show up, bring something they can't forget, the best insight, the answer nobody else saw, the clarity that cuts through the mess. You need to be like a weapon, not always out in the open, but never forgotten once it's used. Handle threats clinically. Machiavelli said, injuries should be inflicted all at once, so that their ill savor is less. In real life, this means you never punish when you're angry, never get revenge in public, and never make noise about it. Instead, you watch disrespect quietly. You plan the payback without telegraphing it. You deliver your response like a doctor giving bad news, cold, precise, and final. This could be cutting off contact, shutting a door, or quietly ruining their reputation behind closed doors. The genius is that nobody sees the attack, just the damage. You never argue, you never plead, you just cut them out. And once people see what happens to those who mess with you, they don't just act right. They warn others to stay in line too. Create your personal mythology. You must become a story that people tell. Legend controls longer than truth. Make silence surround your life. Never overshare. Let people wonder about your methods. Let your victories be quiet, but let people feel the aftershock. Don't explain who you are. Let people guess, and whispers will build what you never had to say. They'll say, "He doesn't speak unless it matters. She always knows something others don't." Don't test him. Look what happened to the last person who did. You don't build a brand. You build a presence so sharp that others create the legend for you. Architect your kingdom. Your surroundings need to match your change or you'll slide backward. Machiavelli would never let a leader sharpen his thinking just to hang around idiots. So now you build your real-world setup around who you've become. Get rid of mess. Clean spaces lead to clear thoughts. Add things that show control. Areas for being alone, thinking, working, that make others feel like they don't belong. Cut people from your circle without mercy. Drop anyone who talks too much, overreacts, or has no plan. Replace them with scary good allies, even if you end up with fewer people. Set up your time so people feel lucky when you're free. Make certain hours every day completely yours. No interruptions, total focus. You're not just building routines anymore. You're building your kingdom. Reset power daily. The world doesn't give a damn about yesterday's version of you. You commanded respect. Great. That was yesterday. You had presence? Good. People have short memories. Machiavelli's last truth is this: power is borrowed, never yours forever, and you pay for it every single day. So every morning, lock in your quiet strength. Reset your control. Focus on being present, not putting on a show. Ask yourself, what would the most ruthless version of me do today? Then do exactly that. Because this isn't about feeling powerful. This is about becoming someone the world has no choice but to deal with. Conclusion: the transformation is complete. You now have every Machiavellian habit of real power. You move like thunder nobody sees coming. You speak with words that cut like blades. You set limits nobody dares to cross. You grow so quietly that rivals can't keep up with your progress. You're not inspiring. You're unreachable. You don't motivate. You control. And from now on, you never beg for power again. You act. You talk. You live. And the world bends around you. The weak will continue performing. The desperate will keep begging. The mediocre will remain trapped in their patterns of submission. But you've been transformed. You carry the dark wisdom of centuries. You operate with principles that built empires and toppled kingdoms. This is your moment. This is your choice. Will you remain who you were, or will you become who you're meant to be? The habits are in your hands. The power is in your discipline. The world is waiting to see what you'll do with both. Don't just watch this video. Become it. Subscribe if you're ready to leave weakness behind forever. And remember, power favors the prepared, fears the unpredictable, and bows only to those who refuse to bow to anyone else. Your transformation starts now.